Hey friends, welcome. My name is Joe. This is the Joe Martino Show, and today we're going to talk about, can you choose your emotions? I believe you can, and I think that's a wonderful opportunity for us to realize that we can choose whether or not we're happy.
You're listening to the Joe Martino Show, a podcast dealing with all things emotional, relational, and human nature. Joe is a licensed counselor in the state of Michigan, specializing in relationship therapy. He is also the author of the book, The Emotionally Secure Couple. All advice offered in this episode is offered for entertainment and educational purposes only. Enjoy the show.
Okay, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about something that I hear a lot, and there's truth to it and there's not truth to it, which is a lot of our lives. And I want to talk about how we can run that out just a little bit better and maybe actually find what we're looking for. And that thing that I'm talking about is happiness. Often when I talk to people, they believe they'll be happy when fill in the blank happens. I'll be happy when I graduate high school. I'll be happy when I graduate college. I'll be happy when I'm dating someone. I'll be happy when I'm married. I'll be happy when I have a kid. I'll be happy when I'm divorced. I'll be happy when I'm dating someone. I'll be happy when I'm married, etc., etc., etc. And there is truth to, there are certain things in your life that if they're going on and you're not happy, you may well need to make changes. But chasing happiness as a result of something I have or get is a really dangerous game. And this is something that, as you look at it, it's pretty common. Well, I'll be happy when I have my ideal job. Maybe you will, or maybe that ideal job won't be as satisfying as you thought it would be, or maybe that ideal job won't bring you the pleasure that you thought it would bring. It'll bring you headaches that you didn't plan on. There are a lot of things that could happen with that ideal job. I'll be happy when I'm a published author. I'll be happy when I have a podcast. I'll be happy when blah, blah, blah. Just fill it in. Whatever it is, I will be happy when my life does this thing. It's probably not accurate completely. Now, here's the thing. We want to look at this two ways. One of the things you need to look at is like, are there things in my life that are toxic? Are there things in my life that maybe they're not toxic? They're just not bringing me happiness. Let me rephrase that actually, right? Because see right there, I got caught up in the lingo. So let's just change that a little bit. Maybe there are things in my life that they're not toxic. I don't enjoy them and they're not worth the effort that I'm putting into them. And so as we run out this idea of how do you become happy, part of it is you have to choose happiness. One of the things that I consistently see from people when I talk to them is, I'll be happy when my spouse acts differently. No, you probably won't, because happiness is a choice and there's a balance here that we want to strike. So there are things that I don't participate in because I don't enjoy them. And I'm not talking like, oh, I don't go play pickup basketball because I don't enjoy it. Certainly there's that. But there are things that I don't participate in. There are people that I don't participate with because I don't enjoy it. Now, I worked jobs that I did not like while I was looking for another job. But here's what I'm suggesting. If you're stuck in a job that you don't like, you can both pursue the job that you want, the job that you think will be better, and find contentment and happiness in the job that you're in that you dislike. You have to find a way to find happiness in this present moment if you're going to be happy in a future moment. Those go hand in hand. Now, here's the thing. If you can't pay your bills, we know there's a study out, actually it's a documentary. I believe it's The Decision to Be Happy is what it's called. But it literally says that once you are above 30% of your needed bills. Now, I want to be clear here because a lot of people, when they hear that, they think needed bills differently than what the research actually was. Needed bills are, you need to be able to eat, you need to be able to have shelter, and you need to be able to transport. Once you're above 30% of that, your happiness actually starts to go down if you focus on things for happiness. So how do we cultivate happiness in a moment where we're stuck doing something that we don't like doing? Maybe you're in college and you hate it and you're wondering, is college for me? And the truth is, I don't know, because I don't know who you are. But I'll say this, you need to have some level of a measurement for that. In other words, why are you going to college? And one of the things that kind of spurred this off in my own brain was last night I was talking to someone and they said to me, I just don't know what to do with that. They kept saying, I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what to do with that. And one of the things that happened was he was like, look, I'm here to work on me. But then the entire conversation, we're probably on session 7. All 7 hours have been spent talking about his spouse. And it ends with, I don't know what to do with that. And finally I said, well, typically I need to know what do with that means? Well, what do I do with it? No. Do with it to what end? So let's take the college student that may not like their college, right? Why are you at this college? That would be my first question. In other words, when I went to grad school, I absolutely loved the grad school that I went to. I loved the experience, the counseling professor. I probably would have paid a lot more money for his mentorship. I absolutely loved the graduate school that I went to. With that said, there were some classes that I thought were awful. There were some professors that I thought were awful. And I started to run it out. Why am I here? I'm not here to get all A's. I don't care if I have a 4.0. I'm not here to be the student body president government thingamabopper. I was a married man with 3 kids when I was in grad school. I'm here to get a degree that affords me the opportunity to get a license so that I can change my family's financial situation. Because we were stuck, just barely paying our bills. If it wasn't for help of other people, we may not have paid our bills. And so that's why I was there. And I was at that particular school because I wanted the integration of certain schools of thought, and I wanted to feel that I was well prepared to live out my values in a professional way in my field. And so that's why I went there. And so I sat in a class for 15 weeks where I thought both professors were awful. 2 classes where you have, a different professor for 15 weeks and another one for the next 15 weeks. And I didn't think they were very good. And I lived with it. It was okay that was a bad experience that I didn't enjoy. There were times where I was up till 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning writing a paper, and I lived with it. It was okay because I wasn't there to do anything other than get that degree so that I could get a license and that I could have an education that would help me integrate my own values into my professional world so that I could live an integrated life. I'm not saying that I needed to go to a place that taught me how to teach clients to live my values. I needed to live my values. I don't want to get that twisted, right? And so here's the thing. I didn't have an expectation that I was going to be happy and thrilled with it all the time. And so college student that, this time of year, college is ending. Maybe, I don't know I don't really know when this is going to go up, this episode. We're on a new process of how these are being recorded. I actually have an editor now. So I pass these off to her and she gets them back to me. And unless I say, hey, I need this by this date, she just gets them back to me in some level of an order. So the question becomes, college student, why are you at college? Maybe college isn't for me. Okay, what's the end goal? What are you hoping to do with your degree? What are you hoping to do with whatever it is that you're getting from that college? That's the question. And can you learn to be happy and content where you're at? Because once you do that, then you can evaluate the college a little bit differently. Well, I'm here because I need a degree in this field, and this is a good school to get a degree in that field. I have a friend who wanted to get his master's, I'm not sure what. It was either social work or public administration. I'm not sure, to be honest. And he was going to go to the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, which in the state of Michigan is a big deal. Like, to get accepted to that school, it's a big deal, right? Go maize and blue and all that stuff. And he grew up a lifelong fan and all that. And his dad said, you can go there, but you're going to get a lot more debt from going there or have to work a lot more hours to pay for it as you go. And I have to be honest with you, I hire people in that field and we don't rank the University of Michigan Ann Arbor degree any higher than we rank such and such school, which is smaller and costs less, and you will either have less debt when you graduate or you will not have to work as much to get through it. And you can do this with anything. If you're single, can you find contentment and happiness in being single? Because if you can, then what happens is you're able to better assess the people that you're dating for health, and you're better able to assess yourself for health in that moment. How healthy am I? How healthy is the person that I'm trying to date? And what does that look like? And so this idea that I'll be happy when this happens is probably not true. Look, we've gone through 4 pretty bad months here in Michigan without sunshine, and we know that sunshine affects our health. But one of the things that I'll often say to clients is, you know what? I get it. I wish we had more sunshine. But can you find happiness and joy here where you're at? It doesn't mean you have to enjoy it. And here's what happens when you learn to find happiness and contentment, happiness and joy where you're at, then you can start to more accurately assess the things you enjoy and that you don't enjoy. You can make that distinction, that nuance. And so I had a client who was like, yeah, you know what? I could be happy here. I could learn to raise my kid here, but I don't like it here. I don't like it. I don't like the cold. I don't like the snow. I don't like that there's not a lot of sunshine. I think I enjoy living in the South more. And so I'm going to go try. Awesome. Have fun. And they did. They moved to, I think, Alabama or Georgia or somewhere down there. And here's what happens because they're not chasing happiness. In other words, there's a distinction between, yes, I could be happy here, but I don't enjoy living here, as opposed to I'll be happy when I leave here. If you can't be happy here, you won't be happy there, because wherever you go, you take yourself. And so as you run this out, the thing that people have to understand is you have to learn to be happy every day. Every day, where you're at, you have to learn to be happy. You have to choose joy every day. You have to choose contentment every day. You have to learn how to live those out wherever you're at, because life has seasons. And sometimes it's an awesome season, and sometimes it's a hard season. Sometimes it's fun, and sometimes it's not. In fact, this is probably most of the time. Sometimes it is fun and not fun mixed together. Like, I thoroughly enjoy school. I enjoy higher education. I enjoy going to grad school. But there are parts of it that I hated, that I just did not like. And they come together. And if I'm saying, well, this has to make me happy, this has to make me content, this has to bring me joy, I'm probably going to lose, rather than learning to be happy and joyful and content where I'm at, so that then I can decide, what am I enjoying? What is this bringing to me? What is the purpose of what I'm doing, right? You don't have to like your job if the purpose of your job is to feed your family. And you can look for another job while you learn to be content, joyful, and happy in the job you dislike. So 2 things to take away from this. 1, there is a difference between liking something and it bringing you happiness and joy because you choose happiness and joy. And 2, you have to ask yourself the why. Why am I doing whatever it is I'm doing? What is the end result? I need to feed my family, so I might have to work a job that I don't like. Well, Joe, that's awful. No, one of the things that we've lost today is that this moment is not my whole life. Who I am today is not the same person I was 10 years ago. I don't believe the same things. Some of the things I still believe, but life changes. And there are seasons of life. Some of them are hard, some of them aren't. All right, thanks so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that wherever you're at, you're learning to find happiness, contentment, and joy because you're choosing it. And then you can make the distinction between, am I participating in things that I like, or do I need to make changes? If you have any questions, feel free to email me, joe@joemartino.com. Please put podcast in the subject line. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed today's show, please share with a friend. And hey, give us that rating in your podcast store. Until next time, change possible.